Hello. Today I'm going to be presenting my marketing plan for EVware. It's a privacy first wearable designed for working professionals in underserved markets. This is something that has a mission to give people ownership of their data and their well being. Unlike most wearables that collect data and charge subscriptions, EVware's value will derive from transparency, longevity, and trust, and bridging the gap between premium wearables that become unaffordable in emerging markets and the functionality and form factor and fashion that it brings as well. So we have worked up a mock up of the product here so you would get a sense. The watch is customizable and it also has different accessories that you can do so. So go a little bit further into the executive summary. EVware defines what a wearable can be. It's built on open source hardware and software, and the strategy around it will center around trust, transparency, and longevity. The target audience would be professionals who value privacy, productivity, and autonomy. So it would also have all the regular things. So working on stress recovery, sleep insights, and the primary market would be in urban Latin America. Secondary would be through business to business wellness pilots. So that's something that we would be looking at. So the market segmentation would be around 25 to 45. Those who are working professionals. We are looking at different psychographic and behavioral factors. We believe that these professionals between a 25 and 45 year range, who would be professionals, freelancers, entrepreneurs with college degrees or vocational backgrounds, would be our ideal target. And we're focusing on large urban centers in Brazil, Mexico, Colombia, Chile, Argentina, where digital wellness adoption is growing fast, yet the affordability of the devices of competitors such as Apple, Samsung, and Garmin are cost prohibitive. So psychographically, our audience faces privacy, anxiety, and subscription fatigue, and also, as I mentioned before, a prohibitive cost from our competitors. They want long-term ownership and control and affordability and customizability. So they prefer subtle professional designs that appreciate devices that last and that can be modified. So as far as our target marketing and position, our target market is a privacy conscious professional who feels alienated by data harvesting. Another thing that would happen is that we want to target employers who want to promote wellness responsibly without any surveillance or employee mistrust, to those who are aligned with our values, who align with remote from work. So these are the type of companies that we would be approaching so we can have a wider adoption of our wearable. So we have worked up a SWOT summary. So some of the strengths are a unique selling proposition in privacy, transparency, and cost, a modular design for longevity, and a low cost of materials enabling competitive pricing. Some of the weaknesses that we have are limited brand recognition and a need for investment in security and reliable talent. Compared to our competitors, obviously there is that hurdle, but we also have a lower bill of material support for our entry price. Our open community will accelerate the innovation. So we plan to foster an open source community who would modify these products, and we would also foster a channel and a marketplace for both modifications, software, apps, and for spare parts as well. So one of the challenges that we would also see is security perception and risk. So we would have to build on that and to ensure that we have the top tier security ops and it's price competition, right? That's not another thing that we might see. We might be labeled as too cheap. The way we would counteract that is by essentially showing the value and a functionality and the look of it, right? Another thing, we wanted to go into the gap analysis. So the market gap has no current wearables that combine transparency, affordability, and cognitive wellness in one product. So our capability gap is primarily technical. It requires investing in our security and our infrastructure, and because we'll be using all open source tools. We don't necessarily have to worry about proprietary licensing other than internal CRM software. And a perception gap is also one of education, teaching consumers that affordable doesn't mean cheap, but it's efficient, sustainable, open, and more than anything, it's yours. So this is some look into the consumer behavior insights that we were able to pull. So consumer psychology drives this strategy because our buyers would not be motivated by the desire to reduce privacy anxiety. I apologize. They are motivated by the desire to reduce privacy anxiety and get reliable open access to their own data. They would also perceive open source products as more trustworthy and accountable since we're using the model that is presented by open source software that is widely adopted over proprietary because of the same reasons. And socially, the maker communities and techie professionals would act as reference points that we can reinforce adoption. And we want to position EVware as a personal wellness tool. It's not a productivity tracker. It's something that we're going to shatter the perception of employee surveillance with this device. So our CRM strategy builds trust and loyalty to our through our radical transparency. And what do I mean by radical transparency? Our code is open. Our software is open. You're able, as long as you meet the requirements, if you create apps for the platform, you would be listed on our marketplace. There is no pay per play type of model here, no subscriptions. You are able to modify the wearable. You are able to repair the wearable through spare parts made available through our store. We will never share information regarding biometrics with any third party without any granular consent, which we would require the consumer to approach us first for that type of consent, right? And our CRM platform will make data policies that easy to understand. So to encourage the community to engage and use our forums and engage in open feedback. So for our B2B clients, only aggregated anonymized data will be provided to maintain compliancy with privacy regulations. And the ethical stance will be a loyalty driver. We will make sure that we want to position ourselves in a way that people stay with this brand because they can trust it. So a look at our marketing mix and product price. The product would be discreet and it'd be professional grade wearable with modular components for long life and repairability. Some of the benefits would be HRV, recovery, sleep analysis, and it is a subscription free core app. So a price entry would be around $80 to $149 depending on the modification, but the base level would be at $80. You can get customizations in our marketplace. Add, if you needed memory upgrade, SD cards, greater battery straps, etc., faces for your watch. That's something that you will have available. And as far as our place and promotion, we'll launch primarily direct to consumer through online sales to control the brand message initially. So we want to distribute the manufacturing and we want to enable community-based assembly, making sure that we have champions in different markets locally. We will also emphasize education, so we will publish content, explaining our privacy policies, their transparency, and repairability as competitive advantages as compared to our competitors. So these campaigns are going to highlight user control data, no subscriptions, and long-term ownership. Our integrated marketing communications focuses on awareness, education, and trial. Own media, like the website and email onboarding, will explain EVware's philosophy. So we will also utilize platinum forums such as LinkedIn and YouTube to host professional and educational content. Community engagement will come through maker forums, our open source community, and ethical tech partnerships. Performance will be measured by reach. So depending on time spent on educational content or conversion rates and customer satisfaction. We will also be looking at strategic influencer marketing, those who are well respected in the community who cannot be bought. Give them a look at our product, review it. That way consumers can be assured that they are getting hands-on a quality product because they got a good review from a trusted reviewer who is not someone who can easily be bought. So sustainability. So one thing I wanted to jump into is that the business model is all about sustainability. We promote a circular economy. We want long lasting devices, easy repairs, and incentives for product returns. So we will provide repair guides and partner directories that will accelerate maintenance and help with the maintenance process as responsible ownership. We will also provide annual transparency reports to track repair rates, recycling success, and data governance audits, proving that we're living our values as well. So as far as our roadmap and how we're going to track success, in the first 6 months, we'll finalize the design and establish a compliant data framework. In 12 months, we'll be able to secure funding and certifications to launch a pilot program. Extending beyond that, deep we will be very deep into community driven innovations and scalable business to business partnerships. Some of our KPIs will be pilot retention, app engagement, customer satisfaction, and sustainability metrics. And a differentiator here would be ownership. As long as we can track users owning their data, their device, and their trust in their brand, meaning them purchasing more from the marketplace, the increase of apps and modifications in our marketplace from partners and from the community, that is how we're going to measure success, right? So that is a quick look, and this is my AI checklist. I used AI to gauge the viability for the low cost of the device, right? This is something that I have already been thinking of, and I used it to gather some sources for review to help me create an ideal profile, since I did want to target Latin America, and since I know that there is a significant gap in wearables, the desire and the actual cost of it, and also the security concerns in Latin American countries. So AI was used in that process to be able to gather that information for me to synthesize it,